you were saying something?
Just saying, I'm Jerry Lynn. This is me. We texted and spoke yesterday on the phone.
Yes.
I'm anxious to continue.
Perfect.
Just to do just, aha, there's Barbara. Okay.
Hi.
We were in the beginning
Hi,
class together.
Barbara.
Debbie and Barbara and myself and another gal who should be joining us today. So we'll see.
Yeah, so we combined 2 classes, and so the Carol could teach another beginner class, and my class, I used to have a Sunday night class of advanced beginners who were going on to intermediate, and we combined them. There were only about 3 of them wanting to continue to intermediate. We combined them with another class so that I'm only teaching 1 class this semester, which is much better for me.
With children, I can understand that. Yes.
Well, my children are out of the house. It's more because I do way too much volunteering with Women's League. So,
She's a cover girl.
Ah,
I saw your picture. I saw your picture.
Lymor.
It's like, I know
How
her.
How is your son doing, Lymor?
he's doing okay. I mean, I haven't talked to him yet today, so I'm interested in speaking with him. I talk to him every Friday as a given, so I'm interested in talking to him and seeing how he's doing. You know, he was kind of the first couple of days back, avoiding going to certain spots on campus and that sort of thing. And now he's I saw last night, you know, I stalk him on Life 360. I saw him last night that he was at like a pretzel place across from the Union. So I'm like, okay, so he's not avoiding going to places now. And
Yeah.
so we'll see. It's very hard to get your 18-year-old son to kind of open up to you about his feelings, because, you know,
I have 2 of those, so I know.
Yeah. Well, and Lymor, you know, my son is at UVA, and we had the shooting tragedy. He actually has a boy in his pledge class this year who was on the bus,
right.
like on the bus where the shooting took place. And they're really open about talking. So he may not talk to you, but hopefully he can talk to his friends and, you know, share things that way. Because I know my son he's a good sharer for a boy, but he's, you know, barely 19, and that's hard. But
right. I mean, and he's a sensitive kid, and we talk, and he talks to, you know, my husband. So I think he's going to be fine. I think there's going to be a level of healing and a healing process and that sort of thing. So, so we'll see.
It won't be overnight. It won't be overnight.
No. And, you know, I mean, unfortunately, he's experienced quite a bit of death in his life.
Right.
He had a best friend who died of a weird form of ALS when my son was 10 and the friend was 12. And so that was like, you know, for years, you know, there were just things he wanted to do or not wanted to do, and I just let it go and let it happen. And that he specifically wanted to go on the anniversary of his death to the gravesite every year. And he actually wanted to go a couple times the first 2 years. And so then I said something to him when he came home before he left for camp. I said, you know, Eitan's, you know, yard site's going to be while you're at camp. He goes, so? I said, so do you want to go to the cemetery now, or what do you want to do? He goes, nah, I don't need that anymore. I was like, okay, fine. Like, you know, you just kind of got to let them take the lead on things like that. And we'll go from there. We'll see.
Not always a wise mother who recognizes that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good
It's
for
funny. You know, there are all these Facebook groups, and, you know, I have 2 kids in 2 different universities, big universities, so I can compare them. And I could tell you that from Indiana University, they're not as complainy as they are from Michigan State. Like, even before this incident, like, they complained about a lot of things, a lot of complaints going on. Whereas at Indiana, it was most like, hey, did you guys know about this program that's being, you know, that's whatever. And it's more, you know, whatever. And so, you know, I knew that people were starting to go back to normal when they started complaining about things. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, they're back to normal. So, yeah, so it's going to take time, and it's going to be a process. And we're going to this thing on Sunday at somebody's house here in New Jersey from like a parents group for everybody kind of like to talk and blah, blah, blah. And my husband and I'll go, but I don't know that we necessarily need, need to share right now. But feel like some of the other parents are like, my kid needs this and my kid needs that, and I want to yell at them. Just listen to your kid. Just shush for a second. Like, let your kid lead the way. Your kid's a grown-up now. And even though they still need you, they have to forge their own path. They have to do their own thing. I always say, like, kids have to make their own mistakes in order to grow and that sort of thing. I can tell my kid, hey, I did that and it didn't work for me. It's not going to matter. They have to do it themselves. So so that's where we're at. But thanks. Yeah, it'll be good. It will be good. So yeah. All right. So let me get up so did you guys read this article that Judy sent around?
Yeah.
I thought it was
Yes.
very
Yeah.
interesting.
Yes, very.
Tell me what you thought about it.
I thought it was a great explanation of some of the things that I wasn't sure about. And so I read some of them 2 or 3 times, underlined some of the words, and I thought, this is something I'm going to keep. So I printed it out completely, and I'm going to put it in a notebook that I'm making. So it'll be there for me to go back to and question or find an answer. So thank you for putting this, asking your friend to post it.
Yeah. No, that was Judy from our
Thank you,
class. I mean,
Judy.
she's a friend, but still.
Oh,
Me, it was me.
So I liked it. I would have sent it around myself, but I wanted to give Judy the credit of finding it and
Oh,
sending
you
it
could have
over.
done that. It was okay.
Totally fine. Totally fine. Yeah, I mean, I think that, last week we did a lot of talking, and I had said, like, I don't really love any of these things or whatnot. I really do like this. And I know Ellie Kaufner, the rabbi that wrote this, and I see him now and again. And next time I see him, I definitely am going to discuss it with him, because I do think that we're looking for closure when we have a death that we're saying Kaddish for, somebody very close to us, right? Mother, father, son, daughter, sister, brother, husband, wife. And I think that what he talks about in that article really does give us closure for it and gives us a way of doing it. I mean, when I was in college, a friend of mine, her father passed away suddenly, and she was not Jewish, and she went home and she came back, and she came back a week later, maybe a week and 2 days later, and the next day she was in class and doing everything. And I said, God, how are you doing? She's like, I don't know. I just buried my father yesterday. I'm not really sure how, whatever, because they do their wake and all of their visitation is for the deceased. And then once they bury, then you go back to life. Whereas we have, we're burying first. And then our week of mourning is really for everyone to comfort the mourners. And so if you do go back to work the day after you get up from Shiva, you've had that whole week or 6 days or whatnot period to process a little bit. And so I just found that, like, I thought to myself when I was in college, wow, like, we really have this great way of easing back into life, right? Your first 30 days, there are certain rituals. You don't cut your hair, you don't, that sort of thing. The first year, you don't listen to music, you don't, or go to concerts or things like that. And it just or 11 months, I think it eases you back into, your regular life, recognizing that it's not regular anymore. Right. And, so yeah, next week will be my father's 3rd yard site. And so I think about that a lot, as I'm emailing my siblings, by the way, it's next week, because 2 of them don't really belong to synagogues and don't get like a reminder of it. And I just always remember that it's the 8th of Adar. So whenever Rosh Chodesh Adar comes around, I'm like, oh, it's next week,
What's the exact date?
It's the 8th of Adar.
And what's it on the regular calendar?
On the calendar this year, it's gonna be March 1st.
Because my father's going to be March 12th.
There you go. So, and my father-in-law passed away during, in the Jewish calendar, we have those leap years, right? And our leap year, you add a month in Adar. So you celebrate Purim, and it's called Adar 1 and Adar 2, and you celebrate Purim and Adar 2 and all of that. So my father died during a leap year, and he died during Adar 1. Sorry, no, he did not die in a leap year. He died a few days before Purim. We sat Shiva during Purim. The year of the pandemic too. So like half the people weren't coming because there was some disease out there we didn't know about. And the day after we got up from Shiva, everything closed down. So, and the Sidurim and all the small, the low seats that the synagogue gives you sat in my house until Sukkot. Till I was like, Rabbi, can I bring these back? They're sitting in my living room. Because there were no more Shivas after mine in our synagogue. But what I was going to say was my father-in-law died in a leap year in Adar 1 on the 14th of Adar 1. So when it's not a leap year, my husband has to say Kaddish on Purim, like in a costume, the whole thing. So
Yeah.
my husband's like, it's like the great legacy that he left him. My father-in-law was not, he really thought all the rituals of Judaism were hoity-toity or hocus pocus or things like that. Although it was very important for him to be Jewish and that sort of thing. He's proud of it and wanted to say Shema on his deathbed. But we always think how hilarious it is that this was like his father's lasting gift, is that you're going to say Kaddish on Purim, every 7 out of 19 years. So anyway, okay. So let me pull up the Lev Shalem, the Sidur Lev Shalem, which is what most of us are using. And let me pull up the Kaddish and we will go through it. I have a good recording of the Kaddish that I am going to put up on the website. And what it is, let me just go and look at it here. What it is, and I might share my screen and show you this. That's Kiddush. Where's Kaddish? Kaddish. Kaddish. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen and show you the files I have, just so you see what they are, and then I'll share the Siddur. So I have here the Kaddish. See how it says first paragraph word for word, meaning I said a word and then I let you repeat the word. I said another word, I let you repeat the word. Same thing with the second paragraph and the last 2 lines. For whatever reason, I couldn't get them, in the files the right way. Then I have it here, the Kaddish, as one whole prayer that I said. So you can try to follow along. And I think I did it a little bit more slowly, but you can follow along in what might be the time of, how you say it at shul, because it goes so fast, right?
Depending on who's doing it.
It depends who's doing it, exactly. And the Kaddish is actually in the book. On page 50, what page is this? Let's see, this is
Page 30.
So this is
53.
53.
right. This is in our book. And I'll send this around also, because what I did here is I highlighted in pink where you have what's called, and we reviewed this last week, a kamatz katan. Do you remember the kamatz katan is this little plus vowel that normally says ah, but when it's a kamatz katan, it says o, right? So when we say this, it's dechol, even though it's got the ah vowel. It's an exception to the rule type of thing.
What do you mean by, what was it?
Kamatz katan.
Yeah,
Okay, so this vowel here, you could see my cursor, right? Is called a kamatz.
Mhm.
That's
Okay.
just the name of it in Hebrew. You don't have to know that. When
okay.
it's, and again, let me pull up, whoops, let me pull up the Siddur. Where is it? Here it is. Let me find it in the Siddur. Give me 1 second. I don't want to.
30? Is it on 30?
30. Okay, good. Let me get there. I'm sorry if I don't look at the screen if it's making you sick as I scroll through. I try to get to the screen and then put it up so that I'm not doing this to you because I know it gives people headaches. Okay, here it is. Okay, so let me increase this a second. Hold on. I've got this annoying thing here. Okay. All right. All right, is this good or should I can make it a little bigger. Let's make it a little bigger.
It's good.
Okay, make it a little bit bigger. So in this Siddur, do you see how this kamatz is a regular kamatz, right? And when you would say this, it would be vera.
Mhm.
Now look at this kamatz. You see the difference? That it's a little bit bigger and a little bit more square.
Oh, yeah.
This one. Every Siddur has a little something different that will indicate to you that it's a kamatz katan.
Okay.
You just have to know, what that is, and you have to recognize it. It's so close to, here's one in the same line. It's so close to the other one, you might not notice it.
That's why,
Wow.
yeah, I didn't notice it. I was like, that's why I asked, how do you know when to say it? But
There you
looking
go.
almost side by side.
Right. And in the textbook we used last semester, the Shalom Aleichem, they don't differentiate them, which is why I highlighted them in pink in that text. And I'll send that out to you. I highlighted it in pink so you would know. It's one of my little bit of pet peeves about, I have a lot of pet peeves about that book, but that's one of them, is that you're going to teach us about the kamatz katan, but you're not going to then do what every Siddur, I would say not every, most Siddurim will make sure of it. As a matter of fact, if we go to Siddur Sim Shalom, which is, this Siddur, which a lot of the synagogues use, right? Oh, you can't see because I have my screen on, but this one. So if we go there, and again, I'm going to scroll. So if it bothers you, close your eyes. Hold on 1 second. Here it is. And we'll make it a little bigger. So in this Siddur, in this Siddur, there isn't a difference.
The sound of the kamatz katan.
The kamatz katan sounds like o instead of ah.
Thank you.
Right? So here, this word is going to be dechol.
The whole.
So how do you
the
know if
how.
it's not made bigger? How do you know the pronunciation?
You wouldn't know.
Okay.
You wouldn't know. So most Siddurim do. And that might just be the online copy actually of it, because I do believe it's in here.
No, it's
It
in
loo-
the book. It's in
It
the.
looks like,
support. It's
Sorry,
in,
and it isn't Catan like, doesn't it mean small? So why is, if it's bigger, why is it called
I
Catan?
don't know.
Okay.
That's a good question.
doesn't the word a little bit to the left of that word, the last word, have a kamas katan that's smaller, right there?
This one, right? But this
Yeah.
is Yisrael. This makes the regular ah sound. And you see how the vertical line's a little bulbous here versus this one, which is very like straight.
Yeah.
You know, they make it just a slightly different,
A little more obvious.
so that you'll notice it, hopefully. But we'll see. Okay,
It's in the printed book. The Kamatz Katan is in the printed Lev Shalom book.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. No, it was this one that I was talking about.
Oh, okay,
Sim
okay.
Shalom. So, okay. So, I think let's do it like this. I'm gonna read the first paragraph. Make it, if you got your Siddur, your other thing open and you want to make notes, go for it. And then I'll call on you guys to line by line read from here. Okay?
Okay,
And I'll
Yeah.
even make it a little bit bigger so we can do that. Okay?
okay.
All right. So, Yit Gadal Veyit Kadash Shemei Rabbah Be'alma Divra Chirute Veyamlich Malchute Bechayechon Uvyomechon Uvchaye Dechol Beit Yisrael Ba'agala Uvizman Kariv Ve'imru Amen. Okay,
You do one more time.
the whole thing? Sure. Yit Gadal Ve'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah Be'alma Divera Chirute Ve'yamlich Malchute Bechayechon Uvyomechon Uvchaye Dechol Beit Yisrael Ba'agala Uvizman Kariv Ve'imru Amen. Okay, now, do you remember, I may have mentioned this last, maybe I didn't mention this. These dots, like this one,
Yeah.
that are not in a letter that needs a dot, like this letter needs a dot, this letter needs a dot, this one does not. What that is indicating to you is they want you to emphasize those letters, right? So this is Yit Gadal. There's no emphasis on one of those consonants, it's both of them. Be'alma di vera. Now, when it's in a hey at the end of the word, it's a little bit more tricky, right? So listen carefully as I try to pronounce that, right? Shemei, right? You hear the wind coming out, right? Shemei. You're almost pronouncing the hey there. Again, if you don't, nobody's going to notice, nobody's going to care, even if you're the one leading it. So don't worry about it. But I just mentioned that because there's all these dots that you've never seen before, and I want you to know what they are. Okay? Okay. All right, Jamie, you're at the top of my screen, so you get to be first.
Okay. Yit Gadal V'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah.
Perfect. Now, let me just say, you didn't do anything wrong. Let me just say that it's really hard sometimes to read the Hebrew when you already know it, right? So for those of you who've said Kaddish or are in shul and hear Kaddish, it is hard sometimes to get out of your own head in it. So just take it slow, do what you have to do to figure that all out. Okay. And
Be'al ma di Beret. Kira, Kiru, Te.
Yep, this is Divra.
Oh, okay.
Okay, good, good, good. Okay. Debbie, do you want to read?
Okay. Vayom Licha.
Okay, that's ve yam lich.
Oh, leach, that's right.
You have
Okay,
no vowel under that. It's just the shva, which makes no sound. So it's just yam lich.
okay,
Okay, go ahead.
okay. Mal Kuta, Makute,
Yes.
Ba, Ba, Ta, Bata, Ye, Yay, Khan,
All right, let's take that one
okay,
syllable by syllable. It's much easier. Be,
okay,
cha, yay, chon. Be,
okay.
cha, yay, chon.
Oh, that's right. The two dots mean I stopped there. Okay. All right. So Be, Ha, Ye, Home.
Okay, next.
Uv, Yo, May, E, Home.
Perfect. All right. Geraldine, do you want to read today? Okay, you're muted, so unmute
Yes,
yourself.
yes.
Go ahead.
Uv chaye, dichol, dichol, beit Yisrael.
Perfect.
Oy.
Judy Schwartz.
Ba'agala, uvi, semen, is that, it's a
Man. Uvi
man.
Man. Mm-hmm.
Kariv.
Mm-hmm. Good, good, good. Barbara, I'm going to give you the next two lines because this is an easy line. And then you'll do the other line without me having done it. I bet you can do it, Barbara. Go ahead.
We'll see. Uvmiraru, amen.
Okay. So this one is just the vav. Ve.
Ve'imru, amen.
Perfect.
Okay. Shame, ashame,
We'll do the first word. Yehay.
yehe, I'm sorry, yehe, sham, me, ra, ba,
Uh-huh.
mevarun,
Mevarach.
mevarach, la'alam, vu,
Ooh, that's just the ooh now.
okay, ulal, me,
Right. So do that syllable by syllable.
ul,
Ul al
me,
may. Yep.
al, almae.
Right. So you're going to use this one as a consonant. So it's going to be al ya.
Say that again?
Al my ya.
Almaya.
Yep. Okay. All right.
I could
I'm
do
gonna
that
read
if I
this.
didn't have to read it.
You were great. Please don't worry about that. That was great. Okay. I'm going to read this next paragraph. And then we'll do, and then we'll keep going. Yitbarach ve'yishtabach ve'yit pa'ar ve'yit romam ve'yit naseh ve'yit hadar ve'yit aleh ve'yit halal shemei Kudsha Berichu Le'ela Min Kol Birchata Veshirata Tush Bechata Venechamata Da'amiran Be'alma Ve'imru Amen. Tricky stuff, tricky stuff. All right. Judith, did you want to do the first line?
Sure. Okay. Yitbarach v'yis taba
Ish
v'yish tabat
tabach.
tabach.
So here's a good, I'm gonna interrupt you. Here's a good difference in this sidur of how the taf that I had highlighted is different from the chet. See how the taf has a little tail on the left? The chet does not, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So there you go. Okay,
So
go ahead.
v'yish tabach
Perfect.
v'yit pa'ar
Yes.
v'yit ramam. Sorry,
Romam.
v'yit romam
Perfect.
v'yit naseh.
Perfect. Okay, Marcy.
You know what, Lymor, I'm going to defer my reading time to others. Unfortunately, I'm the only one left of a family of 5. I've said Kaddish for an entire year 5 times, plus I go to services a lot. I know this like the back of my hand. I don't
All
want to
right.
take time away.
You got it. You got it. No worries, Marcy. No worries. All right, Jamie, we're back to you.
Okay. V'yit hadar, v'yit Allah, aleh, or aleh.
Allah. Mhm.
V'yit aleh, v'yit halal, shemei, dekud, shah, berech, right?
Yes.
Berech who?
Barichu. You were right the first time.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Debbie, we'll give you the short line.
La Salah
That's an ein. So le'ela.
La okay, that's right. La mean call
You got it. All right, Anne, I'm going to
what's
give
the
you.
line? What's that line next to the lamed?
It's just a dash.
Oh, okay.
Just a dash because, for 1 week a year, we substitute this for it. So they're making it, whatever. It's fine.
Oh, okay. All
And
right.
I'm going to give you the first 3 words of the line. And Barbara, you're going to take the second 3 words of the line so that you don't have to do the whole line. It is a big line with lots of words, with lots of syllables. So let's break that up and take the first 3.
Thank you.
Lymor, do you mind if I ask a question?
Yeah, ask away.
What? Because I know the Layla that they do by the high holidays. What is Shabbat Shiva? When is that week?
Shabbat Shiva is the 10 days between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, including Yom Kippur.
Okay. So
Right.
that's why when we hear it on the high holidays, they always add the extra word. Got it.
Right, so le'ela means, like la'alot is to go up.
Yeah.
So during the high holidays, we're praising God twice, moving him up more. So that's why.
Thank you.
All right, Anne.
Okay. Bircha ta v'shirata tush bechata.
Perfect. Barbara, the last three.
B'nai ach mata da miran ba'alema
The Alma, right,
be'alma.
right. Let me review a little bit. The Shva, which is these two, what looks like the colon, right?
Yeah,
When it's at the beginning of the word, you pronounce the eh under it. So this would be be,
be'alma.
right? Like here, le'ela, ve'yitadar, right? So you're making the eh sound. When it's in the middle of the word, there is no sound uttered. It's just a syllable stopper.
Right,
So here it's be'al ma. Right.
be'alma. Yeah,
On this word, it's tush becha ta. Tush bechata. Ve'im, here's this one, ve'imru.
yeah,
Amen.
So that's the difference when it's in the middle of the word versus the beginning of the word.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm going to read the next paragraph. Yehe shelama rabba min shemaya ve'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. All right, Judy, you get this longer first line.
Me, Judy, or
You,
which,
Judy Schwartz, yeah.
okay. The hey, shalama,
Yehe.
yahay, shalama, yes, shalama, rabba, min, shamay, yeah, vehiyom, vahayom,
V'chayim.
vahayim, vahayim,
Perfect.
vahayim, vahayim.
Geraldine, do those last two lines of this paragraph.
Alenu, the all, oh, okay. Bowl, no,
Kol,
Kol,
yep.
yeah, Kol Yisrael, Ve'imru Amen.
Perfect. Okay. This is, I'll do this one. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen.
What's the room mean?
Ve'imru
Yeah.
means, and we all say,
Amen.
Oh, amen.
Amen.
and let us say, amen.
Amen.
So it's easy. All right. All right, Jamie, you're up.
Okay. Ose, Shalom, Mim, Roman, Hu,
Bimro Mav, right? It doesn't go
Mav.
on.
Thank you.
Yep.
Mim, Romav, Hu, Yaase, Shalom. Do you want me to keep going?
Nope.
Okay.
Who's next? Debbie, you want to do this last part
Okay.
here?
Le new.
Yep.
Okay. The all is that two? Like
That's
Ball?
Cole. Yep, that's Cole.
Okay, I know, I know it's the Awesome. I didn't know if I was making too much of it.
Nope, you're good.
Ball, Yisrael,
Ve'imru amen.
Vimru, Amen.
Perfect. All right. Okay. Any questions? Anything you want me to read again? Anything?
I have another question on the ritual.
Yeah.
Why during the Oseh Shalom, at least in my shul of the Oseh Shalom part, you take a step back and then you lean to the right, lean to the left, and then you take a step forward. Why is
Right.
that?
So you know how at the very beginning of the Amidah, you take 3 steps backwards and then 3 steps forwards? You know that?
Mhm.
That is you coming out of the public space and going into your own personal prayer space. So when you do Oseh Shalom, you're doing the same thing. You're coming out of your personal prayer space and going back into the public prayer space.
Okay.
Kind of gives you a, you know,
A physical separation.
a
Really?
signal to everybody, like, I'm praying now, don't disturb me, right? Like, you know, so that is why we do that. And so you take 3 steps back, you bow to the left, you bow to the right, you bow to the center, you take 3 steps forward, and then you get up on your tippy toes. And that's kind of the signal of how you get in and out of your prayer space. When one year, many years, my husband and I staffed USY conventions, and one of them, we did it during like a camp week at camp, before school started, that we used one of the Jewish camps. And one morning we did, we davened on the porch of the bunk. And I said, okay, and it was a group of ladies. I said, okay, ladies, bring your, I'm going to bring a bunch of yoga mats and we're going to do some calisthenics here. And I went through the entire morning prayer service just saying, lift this, do that. Put your hands here, put your hands there, put your hands over your eyes. Now do this, now do that. We got to the end and I said, okay, what did we just do? And a couple of the kids knew what we were doing, but basically we did the whole mechanics of the prayer service without actually praying. And then we did it with the praying. And we went through all the mechanics and why do you do this and why do you do that? It was very, 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 very eye-opening for them. So, okay.
This is Lisa.
The next thing we're going to do is the blessings to go up to the Torah. We're going to start what we can start. But we're not going to do all of them. We're not going to read them and all of that, because I want you to concentrate on Kaddish, for next week. So let's see how far we get here. So these are the blessings. Again, I will send this out to you. Before you go up to the Torah. First of all, let me stop my share for a second. Show of hands, how many of you have had an aliyah to the Torah? How many of you that have had an aliyah to the Torah have had it by yourself?
All from people.
I guess. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm saying like without your husband or without, okay, good. So, so let me take another poll. Is this something you want to learn?
Yes.
Okay, good. Because on my other classes, it's always something they want to learn. So I've now put it into the curriculum. But if
Well,
you
Lenore-
want to do it and didn't want to learn it, then I wasn't going to go over it. Okay, great.
But Lenore, my experience, I was in a friend's synagogue. She was the president of the synagogue, and she called me up because we had talked the night before about, and I told her, I said, I would not be sure to know what I was doing, but I did have an idea because I've gone for synagogue for so long, but I've never had an aliyah, and that was 2 years ago. But I was
There you
frightening,
go.
I will tell you, because I didn't want to do anything wrong. So.
Right.
My
Right.
synagogue has a cheat sheet sitting right on the V.
Well, they do. They have it in English on there as well and all of that. But, again, So this is one of those prayers that we're going to learn, and you may be interested to find that you've been saying it wrong all along, right? Because the transliteration's a little different, or because you've heard it, another way or whatever. So, that's fine. Okay. So you get up to the Torah. So first of all, the Torah, when we do our Torah service, right? It's really a reenactment of what happened at Mount Sinai, right? It's up on a bima usually. You have your two gabayim on the side, right? The one person that calls you up, and the two people that are making sure the person that's reading is reading properly. And those are the Leviim who were, standing there waiting for Moses to come down. And so there's a whole ritual, right? It's very much the same in every shul you go to. And so I find that fascinating that no matter where you are in the world, whether you're an Orthodox shul or Reform shul, it happens this way. You walk up to the Torah, you kiss with your tallis with a piece of fabric where they're going to start the reading. You close the Torah and hold the Atzei Chaim, which are the wooden handles, and you say this blessing. And you say, Baruch et Adonai Hamvorach. And the congregation will respond, Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Va'ed. And then, continuing to hold them, you respond to them, Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim Ve'natan Lanu Et Torato Baruch Ata Adonai Noten HaTorah. Now, if you see why I made this little thing pink,
Yeah.
that little vertical line, you see the vertical lines here, 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 here. That's another way of saying this is where I want you to emphasize the word. So in this word, Eloheinu, Asher Bachar Banu, Mikol Ha'amim, Venatan Lanu Et Torato. Just so you're aware of that. Now, and there's a tune. So sometimes the Orthodox will not use the tune, but certainly in the conservative, and I believe the Reform, it's the same tune. Baruch et Adonai Hamvorach, Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Va'ed, Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Va'ed, Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam, Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim, Venatan Lanu Et Torato, Baruch Ata Adonai Noten HaTorah. And then they read the portion and all that. Okay. So let's go around the room. Let's do these few lines here, and then we'll do the after the reading. Okay. So Jamie had a turn. Debbie had a turn. Ann and Barbara, did you have a third turn? I don't remember. No. Okay. Ann, so you start with this one.
What
Okay.
page are we in?
First line.
Yes.
Okay. Baruch et Adonai Hamevorach.
Perfect. Now, did we go over this Yud Hey Vav Hey? Have we ever gone over that?
Mhm.
That is one of the names of God, and it has no vowels under it because we're not supposed to pronounce it. So we just say Adonai. Okay, so whenever you see that in the Torah, in the Siddur, it's Adonai. Okay. Okay, Barbara.
Baruch
Adonai,
Adonai, okay. Barach. Alo, halom,
Le,
leolam va'ed.
perfect. Judy Schwartz, this line.
With our share.
Nope, Baruch.
Oh, Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam.
Okay, go ahead, do the next line.
Asher Bahar Bin Banu
Banu.
Banu Mikol Ha'amim then Natan Lanu et Torato.
Perfect. Geraldine,
Baruch atah Adonai notain haTorah.
perfect. Okay. After the reading, same thing. You take your tallis, or you take your the strings of your tallis, or you take the fabric that they have. You kiss where you ended the Torah. Again, roll it up, hold it by the Atzei Chaim, the wooden handles, and you say, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chaye olam nata betochenu Baruch atah Adonai notain haTorah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chaye olam nata betochenu Baruch atah Adonai notain haTorah. And everybody, amen, and whatever, and you call up the next person. In some shuls, I mean, the way that it's traditionally done is the person that just had the aliyah stays up on the bima for the next person. With COVID and having so many people at the bima, a lot of shuls are having them stand on the stairs or go back down to their seats. People are doing many, many different things. I've even seen it at one shul, but that was like in the height of COVID. My nephew had his bar mitzvah, and they were reading Aliyah 1 from this side of the bima and Aliyah 2 from this side of the bima, so that near the two should, like, there wouldn't be more than one person at a time there. And of course, it was very odd. I'm like, where do you want me to go? Just tell me where to go. So anyway, okay, so let's.
Lymor,
Yeah,
may I ask a question?
of course.
Did I imagine that you read the after reading a little faster than we read the beginning reading?
Probably.
Oh, okay. In a hurry to get off the bimah.
Because it's 2:20 and I wanted to make sure we get it all in.
Oh, I'm not paying attention.
No reason other than that.
Okay.
If I ever lead a service that you are at, you'll notice I go very, very fast. I say the words, I say everything. I go very, very fast.
You must get asked a lot to lead services then.
Sometimes it depends. I mean, it was funny for Sisterhood Shabbat. They're like, because I'm on the board of Women's League. They're like, will you give the Women's League charge? I'm like, sure. Then they're like, will you read an aliyah of the Torah? I'm like, well, I'm already doing this. They're like, it's okay. And then the morning of, they're like, oh, the person that was supposed to do Pesukei de Zimra didn't show. Lymor, would you do it? I'm like, no, this is not the Lymor show. We're not doing that. That's not happening. So, so they found.
Now, did you say you were going to save this and do the singing with it? Because I
have this taped for you too.
Okay, because I always get the tune messed up.
Okay, so here's what I have. What do I have? Aliyah Torah with explanations and blessings only. So I recorded it last year, so I'll have to listen to it and see if it's slow enough. And I believe when you open up that MP4, you can make the speed smaller if you want. Make the speed
slower.
Slower, thank you. Remember the word.
It's an English word.
We're all
Non,
helping each other.
it's non-sped up.
Not sped up, exactly. Okay. Marcy,
Yes.
let's have you read after the reading.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam.
Keep going.
Asher natan lanu Torat emet. The whole, keep going?
Do the whole paragraph.
Oh, boy. V'chaye olam ta batav. No, but
The toe.
tov chenu.
Mhm.
Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
There you go. So let's go over what it means actually. So Baruch et Adonai Hamvorach is basically praise the Lord, the source of this blessing. Baruch Adonai Hamvorach leolam va'ed. Praise be the Lord, source of the blessing throughout all time. And then this part here, Asher Bachar Banu is that has chosen us, Mikol Ha'amim, from all of the nations, Venatan Lanu, and gave us et Torato, the Torah, right? So of all the nations, you chose us to give the Torah to. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Praised are you that who gave the Torah, right? So that's such it's such an easy thing to teach because it's a fitting blessing. Of course, when you get up to the Torah to read from the Torah, you're like remembering at Mount Sinai what happened and thanking God for that. This bottom part, Asher Natan Lanu Torat Emet, that you gave us the Torah, that you're giving us the Torah for eternity. V'chaye, hold on, let me see here. Oh, the Torah of truth. I was going to say emet means truth.
Yeah.
Asher natan lanu Torat emet, that you gave us the Torah of truth. V'chaye olam nata b'tochenu, and for the rest of our life, you're like planting this within us. Nata means to plant. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah, same thing. Blessed that you who gives the Torah. So I guess we did have time for everything. I will upload all of this stuff to the website, and you don't have to do it all by next week. Take it piece by piece, that sort of thing. And at the beginning of class, I'll ask if we have any questions, and we'll pull these up if we need to, both the Kaddish and the Aliyah Torah.
So you're uploading them to the website, not sending them to our emails?
There's too many files.
Okay.
I'll try to send you at least the text so you have that. If you have trouble getting off the website, let me know and I'll send it. But
where do we go on the website again?
Okay, so I'm going to show you. So if you go to WLCJ.org, and hopefully your internet is, there we go. And you log in. Now mine happens to remember mine because I have it remembered on my website, but you have to do that. Now, if you don't remember or you have trouble, hit the forgot reset password. You have to use the same email address that you gave Sisterhood when you signed up for Sisterhood. If you don't know what that is, let me know and we'll call either your region president or the office because they will know for sure. You log in. Once you're in, you go to download WLCJ member materials, this pink button here.
Where was that again?
Oh, okay, here we go. See this right here under my account. Once you're logged in, you have this pink button. Download member materials. And then you've got all kinds of stuff. So first of all, if there's anything, a program you missed or anything like that that was on the national, you can go to education and find it and watch it. And I'll show you some of those in a second, but Hebrew classes. And then you're going to go to the spring semester, which is at the top. Advanced beginner. Up, and I'm not there. You have got to be kidding me.
No, you were under beginner. I think.
All right, they have a new person doing this, so I'm gonna have to tell her.
Yeah, because that's how I found you under beginner.
Gotcha. Okay, so she misunderstood, but that's okay. I'm gonna move her. So the recording's here. Now, if before I get this up on the site, you want to go find it, if you go to the fall semester, to the advanced beginner, to my class, you're gonna have that's the Amidah. You don't want that. Hold on. I thought it was up here, but maybe it's not. Beginner, maybe. No. Oh, well, forget that. Let's not play with that. I was going to tell you to cheat, but that's okay. So I have to have her put me in advanced beginner, in the advanced beginner. So if you don't see me in the advanced beginner, go to the beginner. That's fine. Because I'll tell you, this is also advanced beginner, but it's a different semester. My advanced beginner class last semester didn't start until after all the Jewish holidays. So we went until the end of January. I literally had 1 week off from then until this class, and that's why I started this class a week late. So I had a little bit of time off to regroup and whatnot. Okay. But that's where they'll be. The recordings will be. I may have a recording of Kaddish from someone else. And if I do, I have a website that I use for when to know the tunes, the Nusach. I use a website. I'm just going to look up if they have Kaddish on there. And it's going to be at the end. All right, I'm not going to take up your time looking for it, but I'll be referring you to those as well instead of making recordings, because there's already a recording. And on that recording, I know you can slow it down. So if you wanted to do it slower or faster or whatnot. And she's got the tunes in there and everything. So when we get to that point, I'll send you that, the link to the different prayers on that website.
Can I ask one quick question? Sorry, I meant to ask it earlier. When we're saying the blessing before the Torah reading, we go to temple, not every week, but every other week. And the high holidays always throw me off because they seem to add things. It's a different tune. We were called up. I said, I don't know that tune. I'm going to go regular because I don't know it and I don't want to mess it up. And about half of the people seem to know the high holiday tune and half don't. Is that kind of normal?
Yeah, that's probably normal. Yeah.
Okay. But there's just a different tune.
Yeah. I
The
wouldn't
words are the
know,
same.
without looking it up. I probably don't know it by heart. I don't know it by heart. I couldn't do it for you right now. I'd have to look it up.
But it's the same blessing?
Same blessings. Same blessings, just different tune.
Okay. I've noticed also when we'll read or someone will speak and then some people will, almost like a call and response, they say other things than, I don't know how to describe that. Like someone will be chanting a blessing and someone else will pipe in with like a response to it. And most of us would look around going, oh, well, was there a response? I'll have to figure what that out.
I notice where it is. There is the very beginning of the Torah service. Hold on. The very beginning of the Torah service. When they call up the very first Aliyah, which is usually a Kohen, they will say Baruch Shenatan Torah L'Amo Yisrael B'Kedushato And then the congregation will respond, V'atem hadvikim b'Adonai Elohechem, chaim kulchem hayom. And that's like half the people know it, half the people don't. We can go over that part. Also, sometimes somebody will go up for an aliyah and bench gomel, which is when you've had a near-death experience or a long illness or something like that. You go, you'll get an aliyah, and after the aliyah, you say a specific prayer, which basically said, thank you, God, for bestowing favor upon me, right? Like, thanks for getting me out of this, right? Women after childbirth will do it too. And then the congregation will respond as well. May he who has been gracious to you continue to favor you with all that is good. So we can go over that too, quickly. You know, we can do that really quickly. We don't have to like know it, but know that it's right in the Siddur, you know, right at that Torah service.
Okay, thanks.
All right, and I'll show you where it is and all that. And but that way there are a lot of things going on. A lot of times somebody's having an anniversary aliyah, and so the rabbi will say a prayer after that. People will respond, you know, that sort of thing. So there's a lot of little things in there that you can do. I was listening to, I don't know if I listened to this podcast called Unorthodox, and yesterday's episode, did you listen to yesterday's, Barbara?
I didn't.
Yesterday's episode, they said, and if you have to go, it's after 2:30, and I'm sorry I kept you. In yesterday's episode, they said, what is this thing that's just happened in the last 10 years that people in like conservative and modern Orthodox shuls, when somebody gets like maybe reads a long Torah reading or reads for the first time, that they get off the bima and everybody goes, psh, like, you know, and they do it in my shul too. And it's because you can't clap in shul. And so it's kind of a way of like saying, good job, you know? And so they were debating, you know, in a very hilarious way. Why don't we just say, good job, you did great, you killed it, you know? And they're like,
Yasher Koach. That's
Right, that's what.
they'll say Yasher Koach, right? And then they start talking about how some people say shkoach, like it's not Yasher Koach, it's shkoach. And why do you say that? And why do you know, it was a hilarious little banter back and forth, but you know, they were like, oh, well, you know, us Jews, we don't want to be too loud. And I'm thinking to myself, we are loud people. That's what we do.
Oh, that's funny. What podcast was that?
Called Unorthodox.
It's a great podcast.
It's a great podcast. It's basically three editors of Tablet Magazine. A woman who is kind of like, you know, goes to shul here and there, you know, she's married with a child. The other two are married with children. One's very Orthodox, like from Israel, you know, became Orthodox, whatever. And the other guy, I don't know if he's modern Orthodox or conservative, but his kids go to Jewish day school and whatever. So they have a lot of knowledge, and they kind of, you know, they'll kind of say, oh, this week's Tu B'Shvat. Why is it so important? Why is it this? And they'll go over it and stuff like that, so that you can learn a lot from it.
They're very funny too.
What's the name of it?
And they're funny. It's called Unorthodox.
It looks like this.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it.
Unorthodox.
It's like a purple.
Mhm.
Purple logo.
And
Yeah.
it's a tablet magazine.
Yeah, Tablet Magazine.
Which
part of
itself
the
is very interesting. Tablet magazine. is very good.
Seven Faces Media. They're like a big Jewish, you know, conglomerate. And they each have their own little podcasts on the side. Like one of them did a whole thing. You'd like this, Jamie. One of them did, Mark, one of them did a whole series called Gate Crashers.
Yes.
On how universities excluded or included Jews and what it did to their campuses and things like that.
Mark
Very-
Oppenheimer.
My husband went crazy about that one. He listened to that whole series and
Yeah.
berserk.
We
I'm
listen
gonna have to leave. Thank you all.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat shalom.
Lymor, can you stay on a minute with me?
Of course. Of course, of course.
Is it okay if I stay on as well? I
Yeah,
need
go
to-
ahead. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
okay,
Go ahead.
Thank you.
I'm off next Friday for Disney World, so
Oh,
I'm
yay.
2 weeks for that, and then I have a bar mitzvah in Pittsburgh the following, so I'm gonna miss the next 3 classes, unfortunately.
Okay.
And at Disney World, I don't think I'm gonna be signing up.
No, you're not, and you shouldn't.
So I know they're recordings. Are they audio recordings or do I?
No,
s-
they're video. You're gonna see me, you're gonna see everybody in the class, you're gonna see everything.
And I find that on the website under the
Exactly where I
recording.
showed you, yeah.
Okay.
So for example, here, let's.
Hi, everybody. Have a good
Bye,
one.
Jane.
Have fun.
Shabbat
Marcy.
shalom.
Thank you.
So if you go into my class, right, here's our February 17th class.
And you'll make sure you get that listed that you're under advanced beginner?
Yeah,
or-
I will.
Okay.
I just sent it, everybody should get it.
Okay,
There it is. In the meantime, let's
very good.
only do one, but let's introduce
Because when I get back, I'm gonna try and crash course the 3 before the following Friday, so I'm caught up.
Yeah, there you go. There you
Oh, I
go.
found it. Okay. Gate crashers.
Yeah,
So
Good.
I thought it was called unorthodox.
it does call unorthodox. What I'm
Another
saying is
one.
that it's
Oh,
a
okay.
media company, so each of them have their own other podcast. Liel, one of the Israeli guy, has a podcast about, it's like a 1-minute Talmud of the Day podcast. Like they have a whole bunch of things, kind of like my Jewish learning, Marcy. You can get lost in everything they have.
Oh,
So
it's true.
I happen to, I have a 40-minute commute to and from work. So Mondays I listen to Smartless. Thursdays I listen to Unorthodox, and I go, and in between I'll listen to music or so. I listen to, I also listen to This American Life. I like, I try to listen to stuff on the way to and from work. While I'm talking to my sister, I usually talk to my sister almost every day on the way to work, my mom on the way home. So in between, I try to get all that in. So we'll see.
There you go.
That's so nice.
Thank you, and I'll see you guys in
Have a great time.
Alrighty.
Say hi to
Bye-bye.
your
Thank you
Bye,
all.
Mark. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat
Shabbat
shalom.
shalom.
Hello. All right, Geraldine, you
Yes,
needed,
ma'am. I need to understand how to get into the past classes, please. I've got paper and pencil, which I always keep to my
so
left.
this is
on the
exactly
left.
how you get in. See this here?
Uh-huh.
So I'm gonna actually screenshot this. So here's what I'm gonna do. Here's the main menu,
Okay.
right? Once you log in, this is where you're gonna get to.
I could never find that. I could never get to anything like that.
So why
It's a
don't
totally
you,
different window.
let's do this. Let me ask you to share your screen.
Sure. I'll share anything I have.
So go on, hold on, let me just change this. Okay, now go on. At the bottom of this screen, there's going to be a green arrow that shares share screen. Do you see that?
No, all I see is you in the main screen in the center, and I'm a little bitty box in the right-hand corner.
But you're full screen, right?
Yes, I'm full screen.
Okay, so you know how you go down to mute and video and all that? You know where that is?
No. There's the video camera right there.
Okay, so don't touch
Okay.
that. Keep going along the bottom and you'll see something that says share screen with a green arrow.
Okay. Now I'm on my iPad, so I have here, it says share content.
Okay, let's do that.
All right. Now it says screen, photos, iCloud, Dropbox, Microsoft OneDrive, Microsoft SharePoint, Google Drive, and then box website.
Does it say to share like a website? Or
Screen. It says Microsoft SharePoint
no?
website
How about a
URL.
like a web browser?
Well, it says website URL.
All right, try that.
All right. I'm sorry to do this to you.
No, it's
oh,
okay.
now I get-
I don't see
wait,
what
it
you're
says-
seeing, so.
It says input the URL address and press share to let everyone see you.
There you go. So type in WLCJ.org.
WLCJ.org. And that's lowercase for the .org. Uppercase for everything else, right?
It doesn't matter.
Wait, I messed up here. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Okay. WLCJ, correct?
Correct.
C, J or G? J.
J.
WLCJ.org. O-R-G. Wait,
Stacy Hopkins
Nope.
First Bank or Bernardina.
okay, WLCJ.org. I'm sorry, I just got a call. I just disconnected. Okay, now, and then do I go to share?
Yep.
Okay, share.
Okay.
Oh, now, okay, now the screen I have materials for sale, convention, about member services.
Did you log in?
No, ma'am. Oh, there, oh, log in. Okay, so hit log in.
Yep.
All right, write that down, log in. And this resource could not be loaded because the app transport security policy requires the use of a secure connection. I'm going to hit okay. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. All right. So now it's telling me, oh, do I go to join or
Did you log in? Did you hit log in at the top?
I did hit log in, but it didn't do it. Oh, okay. So now it says open link, add to reading list, copy link, or share.
Share.
But there's also well, okay, you said share.
Does it let you log in?
Well,
That login button, does it come up?
well, yes, there's a little a white screen with WLCJmembers.org on the top. So tap on that.
At the top on the pink bar, it says log in.
Okay,
So click on that.
log in.
And what happens now?
Okay.
There we go. Something's
Well,
happened.
now okay, there it is. Tick, yeah. So I have, it's a welcome to WLCJ for you. It says email address.
Yep.
If you are having difficulty, please contact, okay. So put in my email address.
Yep.
All right, JERL41@outlook.com. So, okay, it's in there. And now I have to create a password.
Well, so you've never been on that site, right?
No, ma'am, I have not.
Oh, okay. So then you have to say, hold on. You have to instead click forgot or reset password.
Okay,
So click
All
that
right.
at the bottom.
it says email me a reset password link.
Correct. And so
Okay.
put your email address in there.
Okay, doke. Oh, no. At outlook.com. Let me check to be sure it's typed right. Yes. Okay, and then hit go.
Yep,
Okay, I know it's a step by step, but I'm not sure what I'm doing here.
that's fine. And then you're going to go to your email. They're going to make you create a new account.
Okay. So email and intracontinental region. No, don't do that. Okay. This is a picture of Ruth Harris in the front that just came up on my phone. And I'm looking for a number, correct?
Okay, so when you go to your email,
Mm-hmm.
there should be it should say from WLCJ.org. This is, click this to reset your password.
Okay, it says Intracontinental Region WLCJ 2 and my name
Yep.
and today's date, but there's nothing that says reset notes. These are notes from the president.
Well, that's not it then.
Okay.
There should be an email with a link to click to reset
Oh.
your password. I don't know who it would come from.
Okay, I'm going to check my junk just in case. Is that okay? All right, good. Inbox today. Intercontinental. Shabbat Shalom. Nope, that's the same one I just got on the main screen. So it's not there. So let's see. The inbox to unread. Attachments today. Do I have set junk? Junk. Okay. I have. I'm sorry to do this to you. Oh,
No, it's fine.
okay. No. TEA, no, it's not there. So it's not in my junk. And outbox, and let's see if it's under my name. Hadassah, no, it's not Hadassah. Judy S. Schwartz. No, Yom Lamud. Conversation archive. Well, I put the address in the archive so that all I had to do was click on it and it got to you. So, oh my goodness. It shouldn't take this long, I don't think, do you?
No, it should be fine.
Don't reply, service, no. I have gone to every place that I can go. Podot at USO history. I don't know what's that.
Type in your email in the search bar, WLCJ, and see what comes up.
Okay, in my phone?
In your email, in the search bar in your email.
Okay. Okay, so search WLCJ, and oh, okay. One is the virtual conference and one is Shabbat Shalom. Underneath it says J. Loeb, Women's League for Conservative Judaism, Intercontinental Region, WLCJ website, WLCJ Advanced.
WLCJ website, is that?
Okay, now it's Women's League for Conservative Judaism, Rosh Kadesh, Adar, study with our sisters in Israel, join our Israeli sisters, don't be left out.
All right, I'm gonna have somebody call you on Monday and try to walk you through it, because I don't, they'll have to see if you're in, if you're in that database, whatever, and you're getting all these emails, you're in there.
Okay, yeah, well, yes, I did get them, but I can't, because I want to get in and I want to see the previous classes so that I can practice and catch up.
Yes, of course. I'll get you with somebody on Monday. Let me, they're
Okay.
closed, they're closed for the day.
Of
I'll
course.
I'll get somebody in with you on Monday and they'll walk you through and get you on that site.
Lymor, thank you so much for your patience and kind sharing. I really
No
appreciate
worries.
it.
I'm sorry I couldn't help you. I feel terrible.
No, that's okay. This is important to me. I'm going to continue to keep trying, but I'm going to try to log in and see if I can't find a way. My daughter's pretty bright when it comes to this stuff, but she's away at a conference, but she'll be back tonight.
Okay.
So
No worries. No worries.
there.
All right.
Okay, thank you so much.
Take
Shabbat
care.
shalom.
Have a great weekend. Shabbat shalom.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.